21st, 2013. This is the Board of Selectmen's meeting. Board members present are Lisa Pacheco, Lee Baumgartner, Paul Sadik, Ally Gall's administrative assistant. Richard Brown is not here. Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown had surgery last week and going to be out for a number of days, I would expect, with the surgery that he had. And that's the reason he's not here. All right, is there anybody out in the audience that wants to speak to the Board of Selectmen? How did I know?
I'm not sure that this is a big issue, but I understand that the library director's not the only one that has it. I guess not everyone is being given one of the controls to get you into the buildings when they're not open, like the town hall. And so...
you mean the key fobs,
yeah,
potentially?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if somebody wanted to hold a meeting in the town hall or whatever, then they have a difficulty getting in because there are no more keys, normal keys. Is that something that's been thought about or being addressed?
I don't even, at this point, I don't even know. We haven't had any discussion on it yet.
No? It came up at the library trustees meeting last week.
What was it that came up?
Well, that I think I asked if Vicky had, not Vicky, living in the past,
yeah,
if Dorothy had one, and she said no, and it was a problem.
A key fob to get where?
Like
to get into
the town hall
in
or-
case they have a meeting at night. But we would make an accommodation. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure that we would give out key fobs freely and openly, but I think that we would make an accommodation to secure the building for you if you had a meeting that night. I mean, that would be, already set up.
Mhm.
There would be a time for that and everything, so. I don't know any other reason why she would need to get into the town hall when town hall is closed.
I guess the only other reason is that there's no bathroom in the Hathaway, and I think the library is open on Monday and Wednesday nights for a couple of
Okay.
hours.
So that makes
So-
more sense to me than a meeting.
Yeah.
I used to use
That makes more
That's a good
sense,
reason.
yeah.
That's a good reason.
so-
Now, who would go into the town hall at that time of night? I mean, to use it, do you let the public into the town hall to use the
I
bathroom?
don't think so. I think it would just be the staff.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
That's a very good
that's
reason.
something totally different.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
okay, we'll fix that then.
thank you.
Anybody else that wants to speak? Do you want to talk to us now, or say it when you
I
want?
follow your agenda, if you want to go through your agenda first, it's up to you, Mrs. Selectman.
No, we have about 10
We
minutes.
have 10 minutes, so if you want
I
to
can-
come right up.
Thank you. Well, I just
Carol?
wanted to introduce myself. Okay,
By the way, we're recording the meeting,
great,
TV and
You tell
audio,
me.
and I'm recording audio also.
great. Well, you tell me where you'd like me to stand. I just wanted to, first of all, say hello to both the viewers and the people here today. I'm Carol Fiola, your new state representative for Precinct 1, part of Freetown, and I've been 3 weeks on the job and wanted to come here tonight to say hello, and afterward, as we said, we would get together and chat. Been over to see Ally and then to the town hall several times, been attending different events, and I know I have some big shoes to fill from David Sullivan, from everything I've heard from different people, but I'm honored to serve, and I want to make it very clear that while the Lions share geographically may be of this district, Fall River, they're exactly equal in terms of representation, in my mind. So I come here tonight to let you know and to let all of you here know that along the way, if you have questions, we've just introduced where our office hours will be, and just like David Sullivan, we're going to use the same space that he used. We're going to use the town hall, Freetown Town Hall, right here in Assonet, and we're also going to use this space here to make it convenient for any seniors who might find this even more accommodating. While it's outside of the Assonet district, it is still the senior center, and I think it would be much more convenient for some people to find me here. I've announced the hours, we have that, and we'll make sure that they're posted and provided. We'll be doing, instead of just 1 hour or two, we're doing 2 hours a month at the town hall, and we're going to be here also another time in the month, in the morning. I will always be available by appointment, should anybody need to reach me. And again, I don't know if this is on your local TV, we can post our hours and make those available to the residents of the district. I've hit the ground running at the State House. They did not put me in the basement, I must report to you. I heard that can happen when you're a brand new freshman state representative. But you know, again, coming in midterm, I don't have the luxury, or haven't had the luxury of taking time from November to January to set up. I will have also an office in Fall River at the Registry of Deeds building, a public building as well. And again, making myself available at the senior centers, or whenever people have issues, they should know to be able to reach me. I come here to meet with you all afterward to again, sit down, and if there's any specific concerns that you want me to take back to Boston on behalf of the residents here in Assonet and in Freetown, I look forward to that.
Thank you very much. Do you have a copy?
I will. I'm so new that our business cards are not yet ready, but I will be providing you with all that contact information.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Well, we can take the first one.
The first thing we'll have to have is the photos. Okay, this is gone. We won't have time to.
All right, why don't we, I'll make a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen minutes from October 7th, 2013.
Second.
Motion made to approve the Board of Selectmen minutes from October 7th. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Unanimous. All right. We'll have a little bit of a discussion on the renewal of annual licenses. This is just for informational purposes, that as we go along to begin to renew our annual licenses, all the licenses within the town of Freetown, we want for those people that need licenses to remember that one of our bylaws requires that we are current within 12 months on all taxes to be paid, whether it's on the business or any interest that a owner may have in a piece of property in Freetown. If they need a license, they have to be current within 12 months. So that's just a reminder, because we'll be going through the process of renewing liquor licenses and all the other licenses that need to be renewed at the end of the year. And we've got 5 more minutes to kill here. How about let's do
Personnel?
the first personnel issue. We
Okay.
have time to do that.
Right, I've got a change of status for 2 of the chief's troopers, Thomas Ashley Jr. and Timothy Dwyer. They've been submitted by Chief Abbott, and let me just scroll down to them. The first change of status report is for Mr. Dwyer. He's been promoted from a dispatch trainee to a part-time dispatch communications person, and he's going to pick up a little raise in pay. And the second one is, back up here again. Second one is Mr. Thomas Ashley. He's his reason is that he's getting a change of status because he works in the communications, and he's going from a full-time communication to a part-time communications person because he's just accepted a full-time position on the police department. Consequently, he's only available for part-time work. And because he's such a nice guy in doing that, he's losing 15 cents an hour, right, going from full-time to part-time. So I'd like a motion to approve these 2 change of status reports, if I could, please.
Make a motion to approve change of status forms submitted by the Chief of Police.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Well, that's taken care of.
That's taken care of.
Just want to make sure.
Riveting stuff happening tonight, riveting stuff.
Really tough stuff. Okay. What else we got that we can possibly hit right now before the soil board meeting? We can talk about the Board of Selectmen's meetings that are coming up. Monday, November 4th, there's a Board of Selectmen's meeting. Are we going to have that at 6 or 5? The town meeting is at what time?
At
7? 6 o'clock is okay, okay. Board of Selectmen's meeting November 4th at 6 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, the special town meeting. So the Board of Selectmen's meeting will be at the elementary school, and that is where we're going to have the special town meeting. I believe, I'm doing this from memory, there's going to be 12 articles on the warrant that night. And after that, we have a meeting scheduled for Tuesday, November 12th, which is the day after the Monday holiday. And after that, we've got one scheduled for December 2nd and December 16th. Those are our regularly scheduled meetings that we have coming up. All right. I guess we're going to now put the Selectmen's meeting on hold, and built into the Selectmen's meeting at 6:15 is a...
Carol would like to say one more word if she could.
I do have the phone number for you, and I think it's appropriate for me to, perhaps since it's televised, might be appropriate, as I look here, to announce to the citizens of Sonet and Freetown that my office hours will start on October 28th, and that'll be a Monday. And I'll be at the town hall from 10 to 12. And so I announce that to anyone who's interested in stopping by on Monday, the 28th of October, on the 25th of November, and the 16th of December. Those are Mondays from 10 to noon. And I'd also like to say that I'll be here at the Senior Center on November 4th and December 2nd from 9:30 to 10:30. And I'm going to leave a number with you all, just in case in the meantime you want to reach me before then, and that would be to call up for office hours, local number 508-642-7067. And my legislative liaison will be here in a little bit, and he'll be someone that would be joining me, and we're looking forward to meeting with people for the district. Thank you.
Okay, very good. All right, so at this point, it's 6:15. We have a Town of Freetown Soil Board meeting scheduled. So the Soil Board members, grab a chair and come on up.
On the side? Try to push it on the side?
You sit anywhere you would like. Just that they go.
I'll get the back of my bald head.
I was going to say they're going to get the ball spot. All right. At this time of year, we have to go out and do some visits for renewal of soil board permits. And the first thing on the agenda is we need to schedule a time that we're going to go out and make these visits.
We're looking at a weekend? Yeah. Sunday or Saturday?
Whatever is good for everybody.
Either one's good for me. The earlier the better. It's always good.
This week coming, if you want to do it this week, I won't be around on Friday and Saturday. I have to go to New Hampshire.
You want to do it Sunday?
I will be back on Sunday. It's up to you guys. You guys can do it without me. You don't need
Okay.
me.
I mean, I'm available Saturday or Sunday. That's fine.
Sunday's good for me, Phil.
Sunday, how about you, Lisa?
Oh, yay.
You like these soil board
I
inspections.
love the soil board
And
inspections.
if I remember correctly, the earlier the better with you too,
Mhm.
right? So 8.
Because it's Fun Day Sunday.
Well, we would like to get them done probably before the 1 o'clock Patriots game. wouldn't we?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so I'm good anytime after 8 o'clock on Sunday's fine with me.
How many do we have?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Is there 5?
Chief, can we borrow the Hummer for a couple hours?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
9:30?
9:30.
9:30.
Yeah, 9:30.
Well, you didn't really think I was gonna get up at 8, did you, on a Sunday?
And where do you want to meet?
Where do we start? We got
I-
the
I know
assignment
it's-
and then-
Well, you three are on this side, so why don't we
Yeah.
start on that side when we work our
We're
way
talking
back?
about
You three are
9:30 in
closer
the
to home.
morning, right?
9:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And I know it's Lisa's turn to buy the coffee and the donuts, or the muffins, or the
You want-
bagels. We got it.
You want to start at the Chaos site on South Main Street?
We're going to meet normally at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
We do 9:30.
Yeah.
at Dunkin'?
9:30 at Dunkin' Donuts?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And we have permit number 0531, AA Wills, County Road, permit number 0527. That's Sona River off South Main Street, operated Kenny Resendes, owner Resendes family. The first one I mentioned was AA Wills. Permit number 0528, 5 acres at 53 Dr. Braley Road, and that is owned by Richard Spencer, and the operator is KR Resendes. Permit number 0529, that is on Braley Road. That is 5 acres owned by John Mello. He's the owner and operator. And finally, permit number 0530, 4 acres located south of Chase Road, adjacent to the Cranberry Bogs. The owner is Tim Ashburn. The operator is John Mello. That's what we'll be paying attention to this coming Sunday. All right, the next thing on the agenda that we have here is to approve the minutes of the June 17th, 2013 solar board meeting. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Yep, I did.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as read.
Second.
Okay, motion made and second to accept the minutes of June 17th, 2013. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No. Okay, that takes care of that. And this, we're all in receipt of the quarterly report, the blasting report for the CCA. And I know it's kind of a thick package, but
Taking a while to get through, but
there doesn't seem to be any issues raised.
not exactly riveting reading, but it is informative, but it's not riveting.
It doesn't seem, in my review of it, I didn't see anything that stood out that needed to be addressed. Is there anything else that we have to, that's going to come before us today, soil board meeting? Karen?
It's just the payroll, and as far as when's the next meeting can be scheduled, because the permits run out at the end of the month.
And
Oh, next,
October?
Yeah. So we either extend it for a meeting or
our next meeting is November 4th, which is before the special town meeting.
Right, but she's saying that the permits went out on the...
Should we make a motion that all these permits be extended to a date to November 4th?
Right, the permits are all set to go. Everything is in place here, it looks like, except
They
that
haven't
we have
approved them.
we have to make our visit.
Mhm.
Can we approve these ahead of time contingent on the visit that we make on Sunday? Or no? No.
A conditional approval?
Conditional.
It's
Conditional,
cleaner to
but-
do it the other way.
Yeah,
It
it
can be
is.
done, but it's cleaner.
Okay.
In case we find something wrong, now we have to convene a meeting and do it before
Well,
the...
let's set it for,
I mean, if we go on Sunday and there are any issues, we can hold on that one or two if there are any issues. But then we can always schedule a meeting the following week, sometime during the middle of the week,
we could do that.
just so we get them done.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I
fine with
mean?
me.
It's gonna take, what, 10 minutes at the
10 minutes,
most?
that's it.
Oh, yeah, it
So-
should, unless there's an issue, but I don't
Yeah.
imagine it would be, so. We haven't had issues here before, so.
So what do we have for the following week? Let's see.
We don't have anything,
The next week is the 28th, 29th, 30th, and the 31st. Well, it can't be Halloween. How about, can we schedule, what's good for you, Lisa?
it doesn't matter, like, doesn't matter.
Okay, you want to do it during the day?
Yeah,
All right,
we'll do it first thing in the morning, we'll just get it done.
Monday morning?
Yeah, that's fine.
Monday morning? The 28th, okay. Right, because Sunday is the 27th, we can do it the next day.
Couldn't we just do it on Sunday?
You'd have to
After we
post-
inspect them?
Uh-huh.
Sure. that a problem?
We could do it on Sunday. I don't imagine that that's a problem. Doesn't
Yeah,
violate
why
the
don't we
open
just
meeting
do
law,
it
so
on
long as-
Sunday?
So long as we
Make
post
sure-
As a meeting.
Well, we'll post it as a meeting, we'll make sure all of the paperwork and all, everything's been, the bonds have been paid and all that other stuff in case there are any issues, and then we can just vote on it after.
Should we post it for here? The meeting? So after we do an inspection,
Yeah,
come
we'll
back
come
here, have
back.
the
Yeah.
meeting and...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll have
there's
to
no
drop
issue
off
about
the
having a
hammer.
meeting on a Sunday.
That I know of, no.
right, okay,
Chief,
so
no
let's
issue
just do
on
it that
have a
way.
meeting on a Sunday, if we post it.
No,
Maybe should be okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean,
Let's do
unless,
that.
and I mean, obviously, if the town clerk says something, then we'll
right,
game
So-
plan accordingly, but...
If 9:30, 10:30, we'll post it for 11:30. I mean, we'll definitely be done by 11:30 going around.
yeah, I would think so.
I would imagine.
Okay.
Yeah.
11:30 here, Sunday morning.
Sunday, 27th.
All right.
How is it when they want, when they want expired?
Right,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay.
What else do you have?
Just,
That's
it's
it.
just for payroll, but I think I just want to-
It's two sheets.
Right.
We don't need a motion to pay.
Yeah.
Do we have to have
We
a
do,
motion?
yeah.
Okay.
It's easier.
This is a payroll summary sheet to pay Karen Robitaille for her work that she's done on the soil board. It's a total of 7 hours. The rate of pay is $17.34 an hour. Total of $121.38. Okay, so I'm confused.
Uh-oh.
121.38 on the front sheet, and the summary sheet is 104.04.
You
So
shortchanged yourself.
You shortchanged yourself. So why don't we just change that, right?
Yep.
Unless you want the 104.
I believe that's right, right? You gotta count.
Yeah, that's good. And this is the one, this is the one,
Yeah,
summary sheet.
just-
Yeah, 121.38.
I'll make a motion to approve the 121.38.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No. Okay, so then we have to sign this. We all have to sign it. At least 3 of us, 4 of us. Boy, it's a good thing you don't figure out my allowance. I'd be shortchanged. All right, anything else for the soil board? That's it? Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so our next meeting is Sunday.
Be there to be still.
That's right.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda. Hmm? We get the, yeah. Next thing on the agenda is to discuss the establishing of a fee schedule for registered marijuana, medical marijuana dispensaries. Bob Raymond is here and Chief Carlton Abbott. You guys want to come up? We can get some recommendations from you gentlemen.
Have you had a meeting yet, on the interim, the superintendent search?
No, just,
Bob Raymond and Chief Carlton Abbott. Bob Raymond is the chairperson of the planning board. And you guys got some recommendations for us?
I would first like to know how it is that the planning board has been invited to this, because it is not a matter that the planning board really is involved in at this point, or I expect we will be, other than site plan review at any point in the future.
Didn't we get a letter from the planning board?
You got a letter,
Hey, we got a letter from the planning board
saying,
To discuss fees.
to discuss fees. That's
"Well,
why you're
Board of
here.
Health,
Huh?
Board of Health."
You guys sent it to us.
Yeah, to get the ball rolling.
We thought you
Okay,
guys wanted to
so-
come in and talk to us about it.
No, we just wanted to be sure that it was happening, because Lauren Moreau, she's the
Right,
planning
that's who sent us the
technician.
letter.
She went to a meeting, seminar, whatever they call these things, having to do with registered marijuana dispensaries.
Okay.
Well, sorry.
And the municipalities have the ability to require fees associated with any dispensary that may come to town. And I'm not sure who else was there with her, but my understanding was that Board of Health was not present. Am I correct? At that seminar, did you go to that?
I had gone to it. Yeah, and I was aware of the meeting, I was aware of that letter. That was one of the reasons why I was here too. Didn't know exactly, you know, back it all up here.
Well, come on up here too. That way you can tell us all about this.
Essentially,
We'll walk for it.
Yeah, I'll just wrap up. So that letter was sent because she was there, she was involved, and she has been speaking with someone, I don't know if it's the MMA, but anyways, she was getting feedback that, you know, if you're going to have these dispensaries come to town, you may want to get a fee schedule in place so that if they come, you're already there. And it was just a heads up, kind of an urge to make something happen now, but it was really to be accomplished by the Board of Health and Selectmen, whoever else might be involved. I can understand the chief would have concerns about security issues, et cetera, and the cost if there's going to be extra people on the force, well, not necessarily on the force, but taking rounds, whatever effect it might have. But anyways, it was just a heads up. That letter was
Okay.
pretty much
We
just a
thought, I mean,
heads
the
up.
way the letter
to
came
things.
across to us, we thought that you guys had some type
Right.
of input that you wanted to make on the fee schedule itself.
Yeah, that's how it came across to me, and that's why we said
That's
that
why
we
you
wanted
wanted-
it on the agenda, so we would know exactly what we're all, make sure that we're all on the same page.
The fees are all over the place, so there's, you know, I couldn't even guess at what it ought to be. You know, fees to me should be made based on pretty much the cost of whatever effect the dispensary might have on the town's departments, et cetera.
Yeah,
Any
one of
costs
the questions
associated that and, you know, including overhead, so to speak.
I wanted examples from other communities. I thought that she had that
Yeah, there's
available.
one that's somewhere like $40,000 or something.
They're jumping all over the place.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm not sure there's a set formula. And again, because the planning board at this point, we're not going to be involved except for site plan review as the site plan review authority. But beyond that, fees and that sort, and we have separate fees for site plan review.
Mhm.
So beyond that, you know, I don't see where, I didn't expect to be involved in
Well, we thought that
determining it.
the way the
No, I
letter
guess it
came
was
across.
misunderstood.
Right.
Yeah,
And
when-
and I'll have to read it again to see how it was read.
Right.
I mean, I did read it, and it was, to me, I saw it as a heads up, but you know,
Well,
apparently you interpreted it different.
Nothing wrong with that, I mean, if that's what you intended. I mean, certainly, it comes under our responsibility, but we thought maybe you guys had some input that you wanted to share with us.
Right.
Fees is
That's
tough.
all. Is
and,
that how
you
you
know,
took it, too?
Again, fees, you really have to research what's going to be involved once a dispensary is, you know, from the application through the opening of the operation and then the follow-up, you know, what's going to be the burden on the town.
Well, and since she went to the seminar or whatever, I thought that from my understanding of the letter and everything, that she had some insight that she wanted to share with us. And that's why.
She's off this week, so that's why she's not here. Joe?
If
Go
I-
ahead,
Yeah,
Joe.
I mean, it was informative, it was kind of bringing you up to speed of what was going on in regards to where they were, where DPH was in regards to permitting these. You know, it was a lot of information. in regards to how the Department of Public Health was going to structure and try to locate these particular dispensaries. There was a structure, but it was kind of still being created. I do know that the towns that have some sort of zoning or overlay districts in place could potentially be looked at as one of the first choices, especially if some of the people that are willing to own the dispensaries have a place picked out. And I know, and that was some of that communication between me and Lauren and what was going on, why we went together to try to make sure that we understood that. There are fees. Most of the oversight so far, and that doesn't mean that this isn't going to change, but most of the oversight, the way it was said to us, would be by the Department of Public Health over the dispensaries. But again, it wasn't clear enough to say that it was all going to be taken care of by the state, and the town that it falls into, or the cities that it falls into, isn't going to have some sort of second level of oversight around it, which goes to the fees.
Right, Chief.
What drives the fees and the whole process is what regulatory scheme you have in place as a Board of Health. There's a sample on the Mass Municipal website. So once you put that in place, it's going to determine what your fees are. If you want an inspector to visit twice a week or 5 times a week, what tests would be performed? If on behalf of the Board of Health, other agents, police, etc. are involved, it's going to be factored into that calculus, okay? In 2009, Silva v. North Attleboro, the Supreme Judicial Court heard a case involving burial permits and fees. And the court said, as long as the fees are reasonably calculated for the purposes of the Board of Health regulations, they'll support it. Doesn't have to be exact, it's approximate, it's reasonable. So if, for example, the Board of Health agent was going to the site for 2 hours, 3 hours a week, you could factor in that time. You could factor in that portion of his salary and benefits. You know, whatever time this board is engrossed in with reviewing the applications, getting feedback from your agent, you know, etc. So I'll come full circle. I think that what's going to drive this is what regulations you set up, and that will determine what the fees, reasonable fees, will be.
Now, this is, the oversight of the local community is in addition to what the state's
That's
doing.
correct.
Carlton, may I ask, the fees, because they're licensed by the state, are these fees you're speaking of, are they going to be annual? Or is this a one-time upfront
Well,
sort of a
that would
community
be up
impact
to
fee?
the board. If the Board of Health regulations require activities annually, then it would make sense to have an annual fee.
But there won't be, it's not like a renewal fee. I would expect that once they're licensed by the state, that they're not getting
Well,
a
I
second.
don't know, there may be a license required. Remember that the state regs intentionally allow for local action. They don't preclude local action entirely. And the Mass Municipal Association apparently has seen an area for local licensing authorities to be involved, albeit a smaller role than what the state has. So I think it's worth exploring, and you know, it's not made. The intent is not to have you know, a windfall. It's not for, you know.
Well, fees can only
That's
recoup the
exactly
cost
right.
of what it costs the
Right.
community to enforce a rule or
I
regulation.
don't know what these other communities are talking about. Maybe they have a different process where people are competing for a special permit or something like that.
All right, why, through the
Go,
chair,
yeah.
let me offer this. as the Board of Health Chair, if I could sit down with Carlton and Joe, and maybe, and Lauren, and maybe start to look at some of the other area communities, and let's make like a list of things that we want to make sure that we include in whatever policies or procedures we move forward with. And then we can sit down as the entire Board of Health, instead of,
You're
wasting all
absolutely
this
right.
time.
Yeah, I agree.
Why don't some of us get together and start to formulate some ideas and present, and then we can come back and present it to the rest of the board.
And put some rules and regulations,
Yeah.
that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then that way, we're not spinning our wheels, and we can look at other communities and what they're doing. We can, use Lauren as a guide, because both of you both went to the seminar, and if that's okay with you too, Bob.
Yeah, it's done
Okay.
during the day.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, definitely. All right, and
All right, so
We'll do that.
that's the plan.
so I'll email you all tomorrow.
It's in your hands. All right.
Meet on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, not happening. They get me twice a year, that's about it.
We've never done it on Sunday.
No,
But
usually a
we're
Saturday.
gonna get you another time too. We gotta
No.
do the bounds. We've gotta go and we
I
have
know.
to mark the town bounds.
I know.
And the only thing that's holding us up right now is we haven't had really a killing frost, and there's tons of ticks out in the woods. So we've been advised, wait until we have a really good killing frost before we go.
We don't have any town markers in restaurants or bars.
We probably do, but,
Well, thank you
all right,
very
thank
much.
you.
What were they thinking?
Okay.
All right, so now we've got the discussion of the health agent position.
You're in the hot seat now.
You're in the hot seat now.
It's all about me tonight, I
Your
guess.
career. The reason to put it on the agenda is because we know that you're working 3 days a week because you've been part-time, you're an assistant health agent to our prior building inspector. And when we appointed a new building commissioner, the board voted to break the positions apart. The prior building commissioner had quite a lot of hats that he wore, and that we thought it would be more beneficial to the town to break it in two, and consequently, you were working 3 days a week as a part-time health agent. Now, all of a sudden, you are the health agent at this point in time. The reason we want to have a discussion is because we know that you have a lot of work. There's a lot of septic systems that have to be reviewed and so forth, and I know a couple of times things had to be reviewed on days that you weren't working, and the board is looking for input from you as to, what do you need to be effective and to serve the community without causing delays for people.
I think realistically, the amount of work the amount of work, we'll just say, that happens in the Board of Health is quite substantial. And, a 36-hour, which I believe is generally speaking what goes on in the town, a 36-hour position is going to certainly ease the pressure that I have right now to achieve what needs to be achieved in the allotted amount of time that I essentially have. There's been a little bit of flexibility from the board to allow for me to spend a little bit of time extra above and beyond the 20 hours that I have there, and I try to use that to my best ability to keep everything flowing. You would definitely be able to fill up that time with work that we do. Certainly some of the things that I've been looking at that could be done more efficiently, certain things that could be added to some of the things that we've done over the years that would help better the health department. But again, I had mentioned that to you, and I would be willing, if you were willing to have me, to be that full-time health agent. I do have other commitments, so I would have to take a look at those, but I'm sure I could work through it.
Now, I know that in some conversations that you've had, that one of the big responsibilities that has not gone, no one's really watching over it right now, is the transfer station. And I know that we have a very competent individual that's there, Davey, Vicky, she runs the transfer station.
Yep.
But there's other responsibilities about making sure that containers are empty, and certain responsibilities of testing of the wells that have to be monitored and so forth. And that would be an additional responsibility that would fall under the Board of Health also.
It would be. At this moment, Vicki being the competent individual that she has, she's been maintaining over there and keeping that running.
Right, she's really done a great job.
Yep, I have done my best to get in there and, keep contact with Vicki and make sure that we know what's happening down there, the Board of Health or the Health Department. We also oversee the monies that are taken in through the Health Department, and we keep track of the items and the bulky items and the oils and the recycling and tires and whatnot that come in there. So, yeah, that is definitely be part of it, and fixing the well today.
That's right, they fixed it. I'm not going to say it on camera. Fixed the well today, that's good. The other thing is, there was also, I know you've been going to state meetings regarding a new program regarding nurses and so forth.
Well, there's
The health department.
Yeah, there's two things, I think that what you're saying. One of them is the state mandates that the Board of Health be involved in the Emergency Preparedness Coalition, which is in each county in Massachusetts. So the 24 communities in Bristol County meet once a month. There's a grant that's given by the state that helps us to generate information and knowledge about emergency preparedness. So I've always gone to that particular meeting since I was hired. So we're required to do that, bring that information back. And then on the other hand, the state also has required the communities in Massachusetts to go on to a program which basically is about infectious and communicable diseases. It's MAVEN, the acronym. Thank you. Is MAVEN. I'm not going to be able to say the whole thing out, but essentially what that does is now we've always gotten information from the state. The doctors in the hospitals are required to communicate to the Board of Health and to the Department of Public Health any diseases that have been going on in different communities and our community. And then in turn, we're supposed to keep those records, and then if we see some sort of pattern or find out that something might have come from restaurants or foodborne illnesses, we report back to the DPH and investigate that. But this program that they've implemented now brings all the communities together through this MAVEN, brings the hospitals together through this MAVEN. And one of the things that we've done is we've got a community nurse involved who is helping to go through and do any of those particular investigations that we're required to do, the town's required to do, to check out where these diseases come from, where they originated. It's one thing when they show up at the doctor's office, the person shows up at the doctor's office and has a disease, but the state wants to investigate to where it goes.
And this is a requirement that we have to meet.
Yes, yes. This has been a requirement that's been there all along. And at this particular point in time, it's become, it's been getting a lot more because of the way that this program works and the fact that all the communities are being brought together and the investigation's a little bit higher level than it originally was with the paper that they used to mail and send and how they used to do it. So yeah, that's part of the things that we're dealing with now.
So I'm thinking your message is that with all the new responsibilities in concert, it's pretty difficult to handle everything in a part-time position.
Most definitely, most definitely.
We're going to fall behind farther and farther. We're never going to catch up.
Essentially, yes, and I mean, I've done everything in my power at this point to hang in there, but yeah, falling behind. Reviews, we have perk tests that we have to oversee because of that part, the sanitary code, Title V, and getting a lot of plans now that have to be reviewed, and those are the things. I mean, we have a length of time to review that, but yes, they're starting to get longer and longer and longer for me to review those, and not able to turn that over as fast. And when my time is spent on that, then I have a difficult time spending it on other things. And we've just got an awful lot of perk tests, and that takes me out of the office to witness these perk tests. They can range anywhere from a couple hours to 4 or 5 hours, and that's pretty much almost an entire day for me in some cases, which takes me away from all the other action.
All right, I'm going to make a motion to allow, well, follow me here for a second, to allow the Assistant Board of Health agent the leeway with his hours to make sure that the things that need to get done in the office. Also, through the Personnel Chair, I would make a motion that the Personnel Chair or the Chair of the Board of Selectmen sit down with the Assistant Board of Health agent to discuss what the future role is going to be and how that's going to pertain to the town of Freetown. I really truly feel you have done a phenomenal job, and you are an essential part of this community. And I can't, the accolades, I can't give you enough of them. You've done awesome, so thank you so much.
Very much.
That's my motion.
And the good news,
That's the motion?
Yeah, that's my
He's going to
motion.
want more money.
You gotta sit down and talk to him about that.
We
That's
will.
why I put myself out of, pulling myself out of that
the
one.
real good news is that when we broke the positions apart, there was money
Right.
that we saved
Mhm.
because of the break of the two positions. So it really is a situation where we can fund the position without really going back looking for additional
For
funds.
this year, and we need to find out where we're
Yeah,
going
right.
forward with it for next year.
I
Yeah.
agree.
You
So
want me to
that's
sec-
my motion.
Do you want me to second that motion?
If you want
Since
to.
you're the chairman of the Board of Health.
Health, but I,
Yeah, I know what you
Personnel
did. I
Chair
know what
or
you did.
Board of
You just-
Select-
yeah, I
I
know
took
you did.
myself out of it,
Yeah, I know
but
you
I
did.
mean, any one of us can sit
Right.
down with him, and, you know, it's gonna be brought back to the board anyway, so
Sure.
it doesn't matter to me who does it.
I'll second Lisa's motion.
All in favor of Lisa's motion,
Which was?
which was the...
Aye.
You gotta, aye,
Aye.
all right.
Aye.
So Joe, you better start working.
Okay.
Simple as that.
We trust you, and
Thank
we're
you very
very
much.
comfortable, so.
Thank you very much.
And one of us will get in touch with you so we can figure out where we're going.
Excellent.
It's
All right.
interesting, and this isn't to swell your head, but coming out of church on Sunday morning, somebody that is involved in systems and so forth said to me, you know, the guy that you got in there is just doing a great job. And I'm not going to repeat who it was, but don't let it go to your head.
Continue to do the same thing I've been doing, and it's good to hear that, that's the case. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Ken.
All right, so what do we got left? We're getting down to the wire.
Water Commissioners.
Water Commissioners. The Water Commissioners want to address the Board of Selectmen regarding personnel hours in the water department.
You're free to go.
Yep, I was gonna.
Come right up, sit up. Sit right,
Thank
yes.
you very
Sit right
much.
up to the two Water Commissioners.
Mark had called me, he's so tied up in traffic, he's gonna try to make it, but he's working way out of town. So I just stuck with both of us.
How come he was here one time? Oh, I forgot, you're retired.
Some of his stuff would work.
Right?
So what's up?
Well, we just, the Water Commissioners met and felt as though that we should have some standard hours in our office. As you know, if you look at the board up there, we've had a few complaints saying, gee, you know, it'd be nice if the office was open the same time every day, so we know when to come in to pay our water bills. You know, until it evolves that the tax collector becomes a collector for the town, we still have to take in all the money. I really don't like that, because it really shouldn't be handling the money, as the financial review did say. And I know the accountant's working on that, and eventually it may happen, which will really, you know, help out the people as far as paying, you know, their water bills. They've tried online, but online still costs you money to try to pay the water bills online.
Well, let's talk about hours.
Okay. Well, we haven't, you know, increased the hours or anything, we just want to make them consistent every day.
Yeah, and that's a big concern of the Board of Selectmen, who sit as the personnel board. And we're really looking to have all our departments start at the same time each day.
That'd be wonderful.
And we're working on a schedule right now that will not impact adversely on any of the employees. But we want to make sure that everybody starts at the same time, and we really don't have any interruption of service in the town hall. Certainly, I think people would expect that all offices start at the same time, and at least they're open for the period of time that they can come in. I think that, you know, in the very near future, we'll be having a discussion with department heads about the hours of work for the town. And as you well know, that the Board of Selectmen Personnel Board is responsible for making sure offices are open for the public. That's our duty and responsibility. And that's what we're going to implement very shortly, that everybody who works in the offices are open properly. And we just, as the board, have to sit down and finalize the schedule we're going to use. And we're talking about offices within the town hall, okay? We're not talking about police department, the 24 hours, fire department. Libraries have their own schedule, because it's just how it is for libraries. And the highway department certainly they work their own schedule. We're talking about offices within the town hall, so shortly we'll have a set schedule for what we want them to operate on.
Yeah. Great, that's wonderful.
Okay,
Looking forward to it.
all right.
Will we be able to staff it, that's all.
Like I said, it's not going to impact anybody's hours,
Okay,
so you shouldn't have any problem.
wonderful. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
When can we expect that, do you know?
Probably, I don't know, a couple of weeks, maybe,
Probably by our next meeting.
by the next meeting.
Okay,
Which is
The 4th.
in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
great, thank
So,
you.
yeah, we can talk, if you want, we can talk about it before
Yeah, well-
the special town meeting.
Or we could have a personnel meeting.
Right,
With
we
department
have,
heads.
we have our meeting at, yes.
Yeah,
that's
we
right.
have a personnel meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, very good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the chairman of old business.
Yes. I don't know what you're talking about, but, and we really, again, can't talk about anything because
Well,
our town administrator is not really.
Council on Aging Kitchen,
Yes?
they started the painting.
Oh, they.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. I don't think he's finished yet, but it looks very good.
I think we should all review the employee handbook, and
Yes.
maybe we can vote on that, not at the next meeting, but maybe the one following that. So if you could put a notation on that, Ally, all right, maybe get that situated. Also, what I'd like to put under old business is something that we talked about a long time ago, but haven't brought it up. But now that we know that the casino issue has not died and gone away, and we are very much going to be an impacted community, I believe that we should probably write a letter to New Bedford, as well as any other communities that are involved in trying to acquire casino, and let them know that we would like to sit down at the table with them and talk about being an impacted community.
Yeah, right. So we have to get that letter out, and I would expect that town administrator would get that letter out for us.
I would hope so.
And I don't know if you guys have talked to him. I talked to him today just to find out how he was doing. He seems to be coming along better, and, you know, I think he wants to rush it to get, but he shouldn't rush it because he had a pretty invasive operation, so I told him to take his time. But there you go. We hope he gets better soon and back here, so he can sit with us and go through the meetings. All right. Anybody else have anything? Okay, and entertain a motion to,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor? Aye, aye, aye. Okay.